Yeah. Hello, the Brunswick. Monday night open mic at the Brunswick. Easter bank holiday weekend Monday at the Brunswick. 2023. How are we all doing tonight? One, two, three. How you doing? You doing all right? Wonderful. We're in for a treat tonight. Thank you for everybody for coming down tonight, because we know that... Who's seen me before? If you could say yes. Yes. And if we're meeting for the first time, you can make some noise also. Okay. It's a nice mix, a nice balance. That's just how I like. I am here to reveal certain parts of myself, because we don't really know each other that well, do we? So some people have not met before, so I'll go up to the underpant lining on that side, but not the whole thing, just to start off with. So, it feels really, really good to be up here. I wasn't feeling it today, which I'll go into reasons a little bit later on. But this is my 6th consecutive week at the Brunswick. Thank you. And I would have still come down had I have known the chef has buggered off and there were no chips available. So this is quite a big thing for me. A couple of weeks ago, I worked out who was here when we were downstairs at the Brunswick on the open mic? You were there, yeah, cool. Ah, good to see you again. I say see because that's better. If I just put, I can actually see you now, and I love to connect with people. I love to kind of share parts of myself, as I was touching on, literally, and to hear from you, which we'll come on to. But the reason, Nick, can I have a minute and 30 seconds notice, please?
I absolutely will do that.
Thank you very much. So we worked out, those that were here on Monday nights, opened the mic at the Brunswick on a Monday 2 weeks ago when we were downstairs, that actually I'm following a calling, something I've felt inspired to do for a long time and started doing it. And I worked out why, or we together worked out why. This is therapy for me. So I'm working through some stuff around fear of being seen and wanting to quit and giving up on things just when it gets interesting. Because we probably all can relate to having a feeling inside. There's something we want to do. There's a voice inside that calls. You can call it a longing or a calling. Can we relate to that? Yes. Yeah? Yes. And that might be around music. There's a lot of musicians here, and kind of following that. And you've got this competing voice which says no. At least one voice in my case, but there's a voice that says no, don't do it. No one's gonna like it. You're no good, and all this. And that's quite a persistent little arsehole, as I've found out. So the purpose of being here this week, as we worked out, because good therapy is expensive, but this is here, I'm here for my therapy. So I want to tell you a little bit more, but I need the usual response to get my juices flowing. So after me, you can repeat, Marrron, Marrron, how's your week been, Marrron?
Marrron, how's your week been, Marrron?
I would like to start, I just want to start with something superficial and really unchallenging, because it makes me feel safe and I can start to open up. I had a haircut this week. What do you think? Do you like that? The problem is though, I have it cut and I have to have it dyed grey straight away, or else the black bits start to show. You know, and I'm all about showing wisdom. Start off with that. We won't talk about whether it's a very safe thing to do and how disappointing. Easter started off like that and then it just went like that, didn't it? Nick, there's no easy way to say this. I've been unfaithful this week. I think it's good to, maybe I should have done this in private, but I have been unfaithful. And I'm going to throw some blame around. It wasn't my fault. There was somebody in the room who's sat just over there. Mr. Louis B, a wonderful blues musician, but it was his fault. Because what he did, Louis very kindly came over to me and Gemma, we were here last week, and mentioned there are other open mics in the Hove and Brighton area. I was like, okay. Because basically what I'm here to do to burst through this fear. I don't know about your experiences of fear, but that little arsehole doesn't go away really quickly. Just do one open mic. So when I was nurturing, like a beautiful garden, this calling, this longing, this desire to be on stage without knowing really why, I had this thought, okay, how about, I'm starting to get goosebumps to kind of sharing this now, but I had this idea that as an experiment with this thing called fear, which just wants to keep us safe. That's all it does. It's got a purpose, but it can stop in the way of our plans to be happy and joyful and live a full, meaningful life. So that time I kind of thought, well, how about for an experiment to sign up to do one open mic a week for a whole year and see how that worked out. And that really excited me, turned me on a little bit actually, to be perfectly frank, but it was scary as well. And then when Louis came along and said, there's one at the Paris house on Tuesday and another one on the Wednesday, I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to do it. Then on Monday, I think I took my pants off. Can you remember that? Yeah. It's something you'd probably remember. I did that. Maria and Shakti were here, you remember as well, right? And it just felt very liberating because I did have another pair of pants on underneath. I don't know what the rules are. I respect the people's right to not see my genitalia. So that's pretty good. So I woke up and what I think is called a vulnerability hangover on the Tuesday. I was like, do you know what? I just don't want to do this anymore. Even though I'd kind of committed to myself and said to people and sharing YouTube videos, this is me doing that, I just wanted to crawl back into this hole. But I made this commitment. Even though I didn't feel like it, even though it meant being unfaithful to Nick, which is the last thing I want to do, and nobody else wanted to go with me. They left me, and there was no meaning with that. It's not like because they think you're shit, which is probably where my mind used to go in the first couple of open mics. The reason why people don't want to go because they feel embarrassed or whatever. But I just decided to. Is it for me? I might have ordered a pizza because the chef isn't around this week. So anyway, so this is what I decided to do. I went along to the Paris house. You guys were there. Who was there? And I'm not advertising for other pubs. I think that was, that would go against the strong bonds. That'd be pushing the infidelity a little bit too much. But I felt really good. I was feeling really not like doing it. And then it's like, this is really interesting because if there's fear, what's the fear doing? And it's like the fear had raised up its volume so much that it nearly stopped me. But somehow I found the strength to sort of carry on and go. And I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much. I decided I walked home in my Marrron outfit, of which I now have 5, so this is becoming a fucking expensive holiday. So, there we go. I've not been drinking, I'm just like a cordial sort of guy. So, yeah, and then I was like, okay, so when, on the road, sorry? So where's that? Do you want to say? I don't know. So I went to the Rose Hill on Wednesday, and then that wasn't kind of, it's really nice as well, but you're all on stage and everyone's sort of doing music, so I was like, oh, maybe I'll come again. So I could have gone home, I was knackered, I was feeling, I don't know if I can do it again. But actually, you told me about the Bee's Mouth. I went, and where were you? Where were you two last Wednesday?
Mars.
You were in Mars. Do they do an open mic? I've heard there's no atmosphere. Oh, thank you. And that wasn't rehearsed, that was spontaneous. I never want to be, for me, one James Corden in the world is one too many. I never want to be somebody who just regurgitates, you know what I mean, with gags, just kind of regurgitating. So that was quite good and spontaneous. Did
Marrron.
Hello.
This is your 1.5 minute warning.
Thank you very much. So anyway, that's what I did. I've been unfaithful. And I went to the Bee's Mouth, even though it was 9:30, and that's pretty late. I need my beauty sleep, in case you're wondering about that. So anyway, I digress. And just to put it out there, the Bee's Mouth. Who's been to the Bee's Mouth? Yeah. It's nice. It's quite nice. It's a bit kind of dark and stuff. but they do give you a free token for performing. Not that I'm saying anything, because normally, the Brunswick is really, really lovely and we've got nice hosts, all that jazz. But so I didn't feel like performing this week, but Gemma and I were going to be away next week, so we thought we'd come down. We've got Rosh and Hannah with us, who, these three ladies here, all are now wanting to perform. Really? Yeah, this is a thing, there is a kind of thing bubbling away. Some juices are flowing, I feel. So anyway, I just put it out there because it is nice. I'm not just doing this for me to overcome this fear, but it is nice. The more I'm kind of doing this, it helps me to carry on knowing that people are feeling inspired, that we've all got a performer in us, and it's a really beautiful thing. We don't have to listen to the fear all the time. We can just go and express, and actually, the Brunswick is a pretty cool place. Everybody's nice and friendly. 6 weeks in, no one's thrown any fruit. So that's pretty good. So I'm very pleased about that. So the way I like to finish, if you've seen me before, or if you've not seen me before, is to start to say no to that voice inside, which can be sort of quite negative, which we get from outside influences. So I'm going to invite you, we're all going to have a little swear fest. Are you ready for a little swear fest? Let's just kick Easter out the way, all that excessive egg nonsense and everything else and whatever you've been up to. I don't like to ask too many questions here. So I'm going to say into the mic, my name is, so we're going to do this at the same time, my name is, and then you say insert your name. Don't say insert your name, it won't work quite so well. I think the level of intelligence here is good enough to kind of appreciate that fact. So before I do that, I just want to say thank you with all my heart for giving me the space. Unfortunately, we can't hang around. Gemma and I are on a holiday tomorrow, so we won't go into that. But I just want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity, because this is really healing these deep parts of myself in a really profound way. I've probably gone over time now, but so I'm going to say, my name is, and then you say your name, and we all say together, and if you don't like it, and we all shout out at the top of our voices, and if you don't like it, fuck you. You all up for that? Come on, let's get rid of all that shit inside, right? So, 3, 2, 1. My name is, and if you don't like it, fuck you. One more time. My name is, and if you don't like it, fuck you. Thank you. I've been Marrron.
Everyone, please give up a Wonderful, wonderful. Have a lovely holiday, you cheating fucking spaz.
Dubrovnik. I love you, Nick.
I love you. Honestly, I understand there's many places you can play and sing, so I don't care. Cheat on me as much as you like. I'm a whore, so.
I knew that.
It is true, actually.